Oh, stressing. Hello, everyone. Sorry about the delay. I tried to set up the Google Hangouts and on air, but cannot. So it's like this is the only way. Mhm. Actually, I prepared a slide for this one, Hmm, but it's okay. I'll try to. I will put to everyone first. Okay. Okay, first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Faiza Amira, and then I'm studying in Japan. I'm from Malaysia, actually. Uh, and then I will share the slides later, as I cannot put the slides here. Like, I cannot share the screen through this YouTube live webcam. Hmm. So, my education history, actually, I already done my master and PhD, which I'm going to graduate this March 2019. And I'm in the stage of my final defense. I'm doing the PhD in Information Science and Control Engineering and my master in Electrical Electronics and Information Engineering. I have like several internship experience. First in Panasonic, in Japan, and after that I did my visiting research student exchange student in University of Warwick, UK, in the Department of Computer Science, and I've done some freelance like machine learning programming in a small startup company in Japan. And other than that, like I got scholarship from undergrad to postgrad under Malaysian government, but when I want to do my master study, and I want to do my postgrad study. I got two offers. When I do my master study, I got the scholarship offer when I was still undergrad, fourth year in my first semester. Okay, so then I got several awards actually during my master degree, and I already published six paper publication, means like three research article and six conference proceeding. And I have four review experience in research article, and I also have like volunteer experience in a lot of conference. You can connect with me through the LinkedIn. Mm. And I've been to a lot of conference. So first of all, what I want to share in this webinar is like why you should go for postgrad and who should go for a PhD and how you can do a postgrad, something like that. So who should go for a PhD? Like for me, for my personal experience, I think first of all, they need to have a dream to get a PhD. It means like you want to get a PhD because of your passion, because of your dream. If you just want to go for PhD because you don't want to go for job hunting, you're not ready to go to work, or you just want to stay to the country of you like you're studying right now, then don't go for that because PhD is a very tough journey. If you just do that because you don't want to work yet, then like working and doing a PhD is almost the same. Like you need to be independent. But just the PhD, you don't have any like a very good salary. And then the second one, someone who loves research or study. And the third one is someone who have financial ability. And the fourth one is the one that is hardworking and able to work with minimum supervision. Because in the PhD, like if you are a genius, if you're clever enough, if you get a good grade, but if you're not hardworking, if you cannot work with a minimum supervision, then you cannot do it. Like you cannot grade on time. Seriously, I've seen a lot of people that is very genius, but like he or she is very not so hardworking. Like he cannot manage his time very well, and then like he got stuck and like extended for 1 year or 2 years. And then if you don't really love research or studying, then just don't go to the research area because like researching required a passion. And for the financial ability, because like if you don't have any money, if you don't have any scholarship, you become very stressed because once you're stressed, you cannot go anywhere because you have very lack of money, very lack of funds, something like that. So if you reach enough or if you get scholarship, then just go for a PhD. So this is 4 conditions that why you should go, like who can go for a PhD. It's just like depends on you. First of all, I think the dream, because my dream is like since my childhood studies, it's since my childhood I want to get a PhD. That's why I go for a PhD actually. At the time when I was in my PhD first year, I'm not really understand yet what my team about, but it's just like I just want to get a PhD, something like that. So after that, when you already want to do postgrad, you need to plan for your postgrad study. Like you need to know when is like you're under where you should do the master study, something like that. Like there's a lot of masters after the grad 4 years. Like you will have a master in mixed mode, and then like the research and the coursework. Like in mixed mode, like you are going to do the coursework and research at one time, and then the research for 2 or 3 years usually, and coursework is only 1 year. But after coursework, you need to do the Master of Philosophy, then you can do the proposal defense in PhD. Normally, for the one, for the one in Japan, the one that I take is mixed mode. So after the mixed mode, I can go directly to PhD. So PhD is 3 to 4 years study, and after that, you need to plan for your postgrad study. First of all, you need to find your research team. What do you want to study? What do you want to study? That's the most difficult part, I think. Right now, like everyone is doing the machine learning, right? So there's a lot of things like you can do the deep learning one. So what is the difference between what do you want to do in and others want to do? The most important thing in PhD is originality and novelty, something like that. And after that, you need to prepare a brief research proposal. A brief research proposal means like what kind of research proposal means a very short one, just 1 to 2 pages for the first time, because you're going to approach your supervisor, right? And in the research proposal, usually you need to put the literature review, problem statement, and then the aim of your study and your research plan, a brief research plan about like 3 years research plan, the first semester what you're going to do. And after that, you can approach your prospective supervisor, email them with your CV and brief research proposal attached. Because this is what I do when I'm approaching the supervisor in UK and I want to go for the visiting researcher. I give him my CV and then I quote one of his paper. Like, I'm very interested with your paper, title this, and I want to do this. And then like he gave me a very positive response. So first of all, your CV and your brief research proposal, and then ask for funding. Okay, how to ask for funding is like you can ask the university to recommend to you the scholarships and the tuition fee exemption. Usually, like if you want to further study in my university, Nagaoka University of Technology, we have tuition fee exemption for PhD students, for the international students. So you don't have to worry about tuition fees, just worry about how you're going to survive here. And then like we have a lot of scholarships also. Like if you are going to further study in Malaysia also, they have a lot of scholarships. So ask for funding. The funding is from the university. And then prepare for the entrance examination or the proposal defense. This is, you need, just now you just do the brief research proposal, right? And after that, you need to do a very comprehensive research proposal. But don't worry, usually after you go for your PhD, then your supervisor will guide you more like, okay, this one is not good, like doesn't have so much originality, so you need to switch to this theme or just go to this one. So how about do this one, something like that. And after that, then how to get a PhD? So you need to alert with the requirement for graduation. Like in Japan and Malaysia, usually we need 2 or 3 research papers, not conference papers, the research article. And then for the one in US, I think like US, they require 3 or 4, maybe, I don't know. It depends on the university. But in UK, surprisingly, when I was in University of Warwick, I was very surprised that they don't need any like research paper. They just need a very comprehensive dissertation. Means like you don't need to write anything. Just submit your thesis to your supervisor every 2 months, something like that. And then like if you need to have 2 research papers published, your PhD timeline should be like you need to finish writing the first paper, like literature review, everything in the first year of study. And the second year of study, you need to finish the second paper. And then on the third year, you can submit the third already. And then like on the final semester of the third year, you're just ready for your graduation dissertation defense. But always remember to have study life balance. Try to reduce the stress. And then how to write the research paper, you need to know where to submit, first of all. And then like it depends on your confidence and achievement level of your papers and what your supervisor advised you. But you need to choose wisely. There is a journal list, and I will share this slide later to all of you. There is some link there. And then like you need after that prepare a draft, give to your SB and colleague to check. And then you might send to English native speaker if you're not native. And there's one book that is very good for the research writing, which is the science research writing, the title one for non-native speaker of English. And then I have one trick actually. Like if you already have a very good result, you already write a journal paper, and at the time there is a conference that you want to go, you can submit at one time actually. Like almost the same time. It's like in the month of June, you submit for a journal. And at the same month, you submit to a conference. Because conference paper just required for brief paper, 4 page only. And journal usually 10 pages. So usually in conference paper, you're going to cut out a lot of things. So it is not illegal as you didn't publish that yet anywhere. And there is some difference in journal and conference. That's how I get a lot of paper. And then you need to submit within a half year after your first draft, because if you wait more, then there's a lot of people is doing that, then there's gone your originality and novelty, something like that. And then you need to chase the editor if your paper review got delayed. My first paper got delayed about 6 months. And then during the third month of review, I just emailed the editor like politely what is going on with my paper, something like that. Because if you don't chase them, then your paper is just like somehow on the air. Don't know where is it. And then like reply to the reviewer, but like that's the most important. And you can write another paper while waiting for the result of the submitted paper. So it's like being a researcher is like you need to continuously researching. If you didn't do that, then you don't have any idea, and then like when you have an idea, like people already grab that. Because like especially in this deep learning, artificial intelligence, computer vision, the computer science study is very hard and tough usually. So this is my advice if you are going to write a research paper. And then after that, as a PhD grad, like how to secure a job. Okay, right now from my experience, like I apply for almost 40 companies and 5 universities. And then I just managed to get offers from 3 companies and 2 universities actually. So the path after your PhD is you can either go to industry or academic. Like if you go to industry, you can be engineer, consultant, something like that. When in academic is quite complicated. If you're from a developing country, you can just go to the assistant professor or senior lecturer position. But if you are in the developed country, you need to go for postdoc researcher 1 or 2 years, publish more papers, and then you can get the assistant professor, senior lecturer job. Like usually for assistant professor, they will need about 4 research articles, and then 3 or 4, something like that. But one thing that I want to remind is like getting a PhD doesn't mean you can get a job easily. As I said before, like if your dream is not getting a PhD, then don't do a PhD, because PhD doesn't mean like you can secure a job. That's what I think. That's what I thought when I took a PhD. Like 3 years ago, I thought like when I get a PhD, then I can get a job easily, but it's not. In the reality, it's not. So what I did when I'm doing the job hunting is I always upgrade my skills. Like in every interview that I cannot answer, I will just always revise it first. Mean like I'm going to deep on what kind of research they are doing right now, and then the coding skills, the one that you learn in your undergrad studies, of course you're going to forget everything, because in PhD like you already focus on one thing, and then like when people ask you about another things in undergrad studies, you don't remember it at all. So it's like you need to always update your skills. Like me, 5 years 7 years ago, 8 years ago, I think, when I studied my undergrad, like we don't have Python at that time. People just study C, and we don't have Arduino also for the electrical student. And then like when I go for interview last year, like people is asking me about Python and something like that. It was like, okay, I think I feel too old already. So it's like I start to study Python. I start to study machine learning. Because my major is not machine learning. I'm doing the image compression. Like image compression field is very new in machine learning. So if you're going to do a research on deep learning, like one thing, I think like if you are interested in image compression, then you can do it for that. It's very new. And after that, for the PhDs, like graduate on time versus emerging research team. Like it's either you want to grad on time, or you do a very new research team, like no one have ever done it, like it's totally new, but you get to learn a lot of things. That's what you need to think when you want to look for supervisor. Because you can look for a supervisor that can give you a topic that can ensure you grad on time, or you can look for a supervisor that do a very new thing. But as it is very new, so the supervisor itself doesn't know whether you can publish your paper, whether your experiment gonna be very good or not. It's quite risky, but when you are going to find a job, it's quite useful. So for me, like I choose the grad on time one, the one that I know that my supervisor can guide me to grad on time, that I can publish paper. But when I go for job hunting, it's quite old already, the topic, something like that. But then I try to improve my skill. That's how I get that. So, and then like while doing a postgrad study, while doing a research, it's very necessary to get motivated every time. Like I have several links, like how to deal with the research papers, how to deal with PhD or research life. Like you can go to thenextscientist.com. Like they will, if you subscribe every week, they will give you some emails on how to get motivated, something like that. And then reach out for your community, of course, your country people, your networking, something like that. The people that do a PhD with you. And then you need to stay engaged with other postgrad students. If not, like you are going to get demotivated easily. Seriously. PhD for me is a tough journey. It's a sacrifice, because if you just go to work after undergrad, then after you finish your PhD, you already have like 5 years experience, working experience. But if you go for a PhD and you after you graduated and then you go for a job hunting and then you go for a job, then you just be a junior, means like entry level. So it's like you are going to lose that 5 years working experience, but you gonna get a lot of things, a lot of worth things. So for me, PhD is a sacrifice, but make it worth. So if you have any more question, like I have a lot of experience in publishing papers. This is just a simple introduction on me. And like if you have more question, I'm going to be online for the AMS channel, the AMS channel. Then I'm going to share this slide to all of you, because actually I'm planning to share on screen, but I don't know why my YouTube, they said like it's offline, because it's my first time actually doing the YouTube live. But that's how I can tell you. Like I also very confusing right now whether to go to the yeah, okay. Hi, Siming Hong. Oh, you're from Malaysia. Malaysia have a lot of scholarship actually. Oh, if you want to go for my university, Nagaoka University of Technology, we have a lot of scholarship. I'm promoting my university right now. We have a lot of scholarship, seriously. And Japan have their own scholarship also, the Maxed Monkasho scholarship. It's like for the international students. Like they have like nomination from the university and nomination from the country. Like if you go for a nomination from university, first you need to find your supervisor, and university can nominate for you. And after that, like if you want to, like when I'm doing the scholarship hunting, there's also a lot of scholarship from Korea, Taiwan, China. So it's like Asian countries, a lot of scholarship. We have that. So you can try to Google, always Google. I think like January and February is always the time for the scholarship hunting, because most of the Asian countries, they start their academic calendar in April. So I'm going to upload my slide here. Where is it? Do you have any more questions? If you don't have that, then I'm just going to upload mine. My this one. Okay. PyTorch. Share can view. Okay, this is my slide. So that's all. Thank you very much for listening. Sorry for the technical issue just now. Okay, bye bye everyone.